My dear friend Mira has been alone for almost a year now after her last brother got eaten by a fox. But today I picked up 3 little geese babies that got bred by a fattening farm. They are in this box, and here you see how Mira is listening to them. She heard them for the very first time. Even though I wasn't sure if she would be willing to adopt them, it got pretty quickly pretty clear that she knew what was inside that box. Look at her. After a while she got really confused and started to look at her eggs because this did not make any sense to her. Where did these babies come from? All her eggs were still intact. She was just looking back and forth, and I could hear her talking to the babies. So after a while, I decided to open the box and look what happened. Well, she was so happy to see the babies. And so confused. She really didn't know how to handle the situation, and after a while I decided to get the babies out in order to allow them to come closer to her. She was not aggressive at all, but the babies did not really act normally, like they wouldn't crawl towards her but more away from her, which is a common theme when the babies did not know the mom from the very beginning. So they need some time in order to get to know her. I tried to help them a little because they were trying to follow me instead, but I did not want that. So I put them a little closer to her, and look, she was so careful. Always looking at her eggs. And she had no problem with me being close. And here you can see the babies and her interacting for the very first time. The babies crawled away a couple more times, and I tried to get them closer and put them underneath her so that they could feel that this is mommy. They were kind of confused. They didn't really know where they belonged in this world. But they could sense that that is a great place. And Mira was so careful and beautiful, so sweet. But she was a little bit overwhelmed with the whole situation, like the eggs and the babies, and she had no idea where they came from. So the whole thing got a little chaotic. I tried to get the babies underneath. That looks great. But it didn't really seem to be overly comfortable. So they just ended up rearranging the whole situation over and over again. And then the baby started to walk away because I put there some water and they just got curious about the world. And Mira was a little overwhelmed because she wanted to stay with her eggs, but she also wanted to be with the babies. And that led to her like going back and forth a couple of times, looking at the eggs, sitting down again, just to get up again and follow the babies outside. I After a few times, they actually made it outside. That was not really planned, but somehow they just went there. The babies appeared to be still pretty confused, and it felt like somehow Mira was more so following them than they were following her. Eventually I had to bring them into the barn and close the door so that they could all be safe. But after a day of deep bonding and beautiful cuddle time, they actually bonded so beautifully. And in the evening, the babies were all tucked in so tightly, and it was so calm and beautiful. So I decided to take the eggs and bring them into the forest because they are for sure rotten. They've also already been smelling bad. So these little eggs did not bring any life into this world, but maybe some fox will be happy about the food.